We go.
Yep, do it.
Another episode of Horror Research Theory. I have my guest Jason Pitts here, and we will be discussing his creations Alone, Masquerade, and his Indiegogo, Lonely Echoes.
Yes.
So, before we even dive into those, how's it going? How are you doing?
Man, it's going pretty good. Just a lot going on. I'm doing pretty good. Uh, just trying to get ready for Lonely Echoes coming up in May, and that's my main focus right now. But yeah.
So, what got you? All right, this is like a two-parter kind of. Who or what got you into the horror genre? And then, what's that one movie you remember that scared you? I'll say more so as a kid that scared you, no matter how silly the horror movie was, because I have one for you that I'll tell you right after.
Okay.
Now,
So my parents, I grew up in Riverside, California. There was a drive-in movie theater there, and
mm,
we would go. We had a pickup truck, and we put like sleeping bags in the back of the truck, and go to the drive-in and watch double features, and they were always horror films.
that's awesome.
And we did that like my entire childhood from like 4 to like 8 or 9 or 10 when we moved to Arkansas. So I grew up at the drive-in theater pretty much watching these double feature horror films, all of them: Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw. Two of them back to back. Pretty amazing experience, and then really cool. But that's how I fell in love with horror. And as far as the ones that scared me, it's more of like specific scenes and
Okay.
the like my favorite horror film of all time is Nightmare on Elm Street, the original.
Hmm.
Uh, I think that concept for the time was just so unique and brilliant, and Freddy was depicted as very scary in the first film before he started cracking one-liners and becoming
Yeah.
a comedian. But man, that first Nightmare on Elm Street, the scene where she goes up on the ceiling and on the walls, and you see the blades cutting across her, that was just
Hmm.
awesome, awesome. And so that scene has stuck with me for a long time. Um, I really like the scene in Return of the Living Dead when they're interrogating the corpse on the table, and
Oh
they're asking her like, why do you eat people? And she's like, not people, I eat brains. Why do you eat brains? And she's like, the pain of being dead, I can feel myself rot. That has always just stuck with me and just has creeped me out. I love that scene. So it's just like little scenes here and there in all of these different films that have just stuck with me that I love.
okay. Okay. That's cool though. Say for me, as far as what got me into horror was just at the time I was the youngest one around. I followed like my older cousins, my older brother around. And the one thing they let me do is when we all hang out, whether we're at, one of my aunt's houses or my mother's house, was hang out and watch movies with them, the horror movies.
Mhm.
And the rule was don't be getting all scared and crying and waking up my aunt so and so because okay, I'm sure you lived in these times as well as I did.
Yes, yes.
You wake up your parents, especially if I'm too young to be watching horror, you're gonna get a spanking. And it's
You're
not
in
gonna be
trouble.
just a kid, it's gonna be all of us.
Yeah.
So I would do that and then like we would just camp out in the living room. I'd be able to sleep down there with them, but there would be points where I'd be so scared to walk to the bathroom on my own. So one of them would walk me to the bathroom right outside the door and then come back. I'll go back and watch the movie. But the one movie that stands out, I'm sure there was more, but one movie that stands out that scared me when I was a kid was Tales from the Crypt, fucking Creep Show. Sorry, Creep Show
Good
2,
show.
The Hitch.
Yeah.
Thanks for the ride, lady. I
Yeah,
don't
the
know why.
picture. Oh, love it. Yeah, thanks for the ride, lady.
I've never forgot that line. And to this day, like it doesn't scare me now. I'll just laugh at it. Like, what the hell was so scary about this? But then I'm like, you know what? I was watching this when I got into horror when I was about 5 years old, similar to you, and it
Mhm.
was just one of those things to where I think this is what I do miss about watching horror as a kid is your imagination plays those tricks. It's like it's fake, but at the same time you're like, whoa, what if it is real? Well, what if so and so's under my bed or whatever? And I miss that fear you have just for that moment of watching the actual film.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the other stuff that you're afraid of as a kid, I don't really need that part. But just the actual part of watching the film, having that fear, and then say once the movie goes off, boom, the fear goes away. I wish I still had that, but I
Yeah.
still love and enjoy horror. I mean, I did end up making a podcast on it and stuff, so
Yeah.
you got to enjoy it. But that's a movie that really stood out as far as that goes. And as far as I don't necessarily have a favorite horror movie, I do have a favorite slasher, which is Jason. I mean,
Mm.
got the Part 7, which
Yeah.
is my favorite Part 7 mask right there.
Yeah.
My favorite one of all those movies. But it's just excuse me. And I think the reason why I like Jason so much, besides the fact that it was cool and brutal, was back in the day, Friday the 13th. I feel like I know it didn't, but it seems like Friday the 13th came around a lot more when I was a kid. But just being able to watch it on the USA Network, yes, I know they cut out a lot of the good parts, but
Yeah.
watching on the USA Network every
Those,
Friday the 13th because it would be on that whole weekend.
yeah. Those
And then,
marathons. Yeah.
yes, and then finally watching them on VHS, and then finally, I remember when the first DVDs of it came out. It came out in the 8 box set
Mm-hmm.
or nine. Sorry, nine. I think Jason was
Yeah. I think it was 9.
yeah,
Oh,
Jason
it
was
was
it?
8. The first one was 8 because
Was
Jason Goes to Hell was New Line, so Paramount put out that first one,
oh,
which was parts 1 through 8, which is all Paramount, and then Jason Goes to Hell was separate because it was New Line.
maybe that's what it was. Yeah. Either way, I got that one. I remember buying it from FYE, and it was $80.
Mm-hmm.
And myself, and my brother Henry watched that whole thing, like that whole weekend, watched that whole franchise, and then like the deleted scenes, the extras, and all that, which is just cool. Which I love that stuff. But it was just like, it's so cool how movies from then, just like the '80s slashes, I'll say in general, how like we're still talking about them now. And you mentioned, I'll even go back to '74 because you mentioned Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And we're still
Yeah.
talking about like those originals now. And people are still making remakes or fan films of those films now because of those original films, and that's just
It's like every 50 years there's like a massive horror renaissance. It's like in the 30s you had like the Universal monsters, Frankenstein, Dracula, Mummy. I mean, we're still talking about them too. And
very
then you go like 50 years where it's just stuff, and then you get to the late 70s and early 80s, and you have just this other huge, massive
true.
renaissance of all of these new.
That's true.
Uh, yeah, and so I'm looking forward to what happens in 30 years.
I mean, all right. Do you have a favorite genre of horror, like subgenre? I should say. Like for me, it's slasher.
Yeah, I like slashers. I love zombie films. I love the psychological horror films. I wouldn't say there's a favorite one. I like it all really. I don't really care for if you go too extreme with the torture porn stuff.
Hmm.
Wasn't really a fan of like Human Centipede and that kind of body horror stuff.
Yeah,
Um, Hostel, I didn't really care for Hostel. I liked the first half of uh, Cabin Fever. I think the first half of Cabin Fever was brilliant. The second half was terrible. Um, so yeah, if it goes just too far in that direction, I don't really care for that kind of stuff.
see, that stuff doesn't really bother me. Like I'll watch anything. I'm sure you will too. I'll give
Yeah,
any at least a chance. But like I love all those subgenres of horror too. But again, I think just going back to just using Friday the 13th as the example I gave earlier, it's just because I was so used to it. Because again, it came on the USA Network all the time, and then you also like Halloween, and just again renting those movies as a kid. I would gravitate towards the slashers. Besides
yeah,
looking at like, oh wow, this is a cool movie cover. Let's get this. And I don't know. I'm getting more into. I think what it is now too is that I'm getting more into the paranormal and all the other stuff like that that has like more of a deeper story to it.
yeah.
Those are very interesting to me and intriguing and all that great stuff. But there's just something. There's just something about the slasher. I'm just like it's always gonna just be like
A little bit above.
yeah, a little bit above. The gap may have closed a little bit. They've gotten closer, but it's always gonna have like a little bit above.
Is your first love.
Yes, exactly. It's like your first true love in horror. What like got me like, oh, this is cool. This is cool.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
mean. He popped. I mean, as far as like Jason goes, when you look at these masks, I know it's a hockey mask, but you don't call it a hockey. Everybody calls it a Jason mask.
yeah.
Everybody, this is a Jason. It's a Jason mask.
He impacted pop culture for sure.
Oh yeah.
Changed everything.
And I mean, I think that's another thing I love about, again, going back to the 80s slashers. I call them the big three with Jason, Michael, and Freddy. It's just
Hmm.
those three people, like, as fans, we still want to see films from them. Like,
Yeah,
and we all want them a certain way. Like, listen, this is how we want them to be, like, touching the originals, maybe add your own twist a little bit, not too much, but kind of, staying true to how how the ones we grew up with or watched, as kids and all that stuff. But it's fun
uh,
watching things
yeah.
like
The fan films are so popular. Like even
this.
um, like some of the ones that don't have as big of a budget as you would like, that don't maybe don't look as great, still have hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube because people
You,
love
you
it.
you know what it is though with the fan films? With a lot of them that I've seen is, I mean, the titles, right? I mean, just the thing you call them fan films. It's a film by the like what we actually want to see in these films. They may not have the budget, which I wish that they did, so they can
Mm.
really, what I mean, really take it to that level. But it's it's a mixture of what certain groups of fans want to see. But overall, it's like, yeah, you can peel a little bit of this from this, you can peel a little from this, peel a little from this, and this one, and put it all into one film, and it would just be amazing.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing. It's and then you have it's just one of those things too. With like, this is by far my favorite genre, and I say that because horror is, I feel, is one of the only genres, if not the only genre, where you can literally go in any direction, and you're gonna have fans. You could have a romantic horror movie if you wanted to. You can have,
Absolutely.
there's so many comedy horrors, and like we said, all the other subgenres. You can have. I mean, one of my favorite comedy horror is called Thanksgiving, about a
Yeah.
killer turkey.
Yeah.
Love that movie, and I highly recommend it if you've never seen it. Part one and part three. And
I actually did a paper in college about the horror genre and how creative it is, and I made an argument that every like it's the most pure genre, because everything is about fear. Like
yeah,
every every genre is about fear. Like even the romantic comedy is like you connect with your audience's fear of ending up alone, so you create this feel good love story of these two characters falling in love and living happily ever after. Like it's all about tapping into that fear of being alone and living your life alone. um, and even like some of the comedies, like Something About Mary, like
mhm,
the scene that pops into my mind is when he zips up his balls in the zipper. Like, that's hilarious, right? But why is that funny? Is because every man fears that, right? It's like, man, I don't want that to happen to me. So like I just made this argument in this paper about how every story at its core is about fear, and that's how you connect to people. And so they're like, the horror film is the most pure genre because you don't hide it. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. That's a that's a very interesting way of putting it. A very interesting way of putting it. And we could dive into your stuff. So, what got
Yeah.
you into what got you into directing? Like, how did you? Is that something you always wanted to do growing up, or is it just something you just? I don't know how that works. Like, did you just try? There's some people that say I just just tried it and fell in love. Some people always wanted to do it. Are you?
I've always been an idea guy. Just even from a little kid, I always wanted to write and create these stories, and so I wrote. I taught myself how to write scripts. I bought books. I went to classes. I took seminars, um, and I started writing screenplays. And I started sending them out and posting them on the internet. There's a website called simplyscripts.com, and I have two scripts on there that I posted back in the early 2000s. They've been on there ever since. And then didn't hear anything. Like, no, nobody was interested. Nobody would even read them. There was one production company that was interested in one of the scripts that I posted on Simply Scripts, and they actually ended up creating it and shooting it and making it, and it's called Manji. You can buy it on Amazon now. Um,
Nice.
but it was made back in 2006, and I was able to walk into any Blockbuster or Hollywood Video at the time and see my movie with my name on the shelf, which was a really cool experience. But I never made any money off of it.
Oh, it sucks.
Yeah, it did, but so I decided after a long time that nobody takes unsolicited materials. So I
Mhm.
started to like if I wanted my stories to be made, I was going to have to do it myself. So I started. That's how I got into directing. I was like, man, I got to do it myself. And I did a little bit back in high school. I directed a feature film, and it was very overwhelming. And the movie's done, and it's not very good, but uh, I am proud of it because I finished it. And it's not the story's not bad, but I didn't do anything in film for a long time, like 15 years.
Oh
And
wow.
then I decided with Alone about 3 years ago, I decided to get back into it. Not to make like I one of the reasons I stopped is because of the experience with the one movie where I didn't make any money. And I
Mhm.
was like, man, this business sucks, you know. So this time around, I did it more for passion, just because I love doing it. And and the more I direct, the more I love it, and the more I learn. And I think I'm with each one, I'm getting a little better at it. So that's how that happened. It's a long process.
There's nothing wrong, but the thing is though, like how you said I mean, it sucks that it was cool you got to see a movie in Blockbuster, but it sucks you didn't get paid for it. But it's cool how
Yeah,
I like it's understandable. You're like, you know what, maybe this isn't for me, and then you just thought about it. And you know what, this is my passion. I'm not gonna just give up because I got screwed over,
yeah.
basically.
It took me a long time to get to that point mentally, but yeah, that's what
Understandable,
happened.
understandable. Because I mean, if I've never been in a situation like that, but I can think of if you have something that you're so passionate about, and then you finally feel like you made it to that moment, and then it kind of just gets kind of pulled from you in a sense of like, yeah, my name's on the cover, but where's my, I put in this work, I created this story. Where's my due?
Yeah,
So I understand that, but it's cool you still again, it's cool you still came back, still stuck with it,
yeah,
and created alone.
yeah,
And
yeah. Alone, man, is a I love the story. I love the characters. It's doing really well, and it kicked off a series of 4 films that we're calling the Alone Saga.
oh nice.
And we are the team, the cast and crew that have come together around the story is everyone is so talented and so amazing, and they all believe in me and the story, and to have that kind of support and backing has just been amazing. So I'm very thankful for where we're at right now with this series.
That's
And
awesome.
it's doing really well in the theater in the film festivals too. Alone has like I think the last count was 16 awards,
Oh,
and Masquerade is up to 10 now.
that's nice. Congratulations on that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so like I told you, I watched both of these films like right before we did this, a little bit before we did this, and I don't want to because I know a lot of. I'm not
We
gonna say a
can
lot of people
we
see it.
can
Yeah,
spoil them if
I
you
don't
want.
want to spoil it, but what I do want to say is don't underestimate old people in this one. That's what I'll say. And like so the connection what I enjoyed with this film was that with that scene that I'm discussing because you know what I'm talking about is with
Yeah.
the cop and the older lady, and then the
Mhm,
woman. Not
mhm.
gonna say what happened to her because again, I want you guys to check this film out. And I was just like, it was just cool how that all connected in the one seat where he's looking in the car, he looks down, sees the purse, and he's like, you know what? You might want to check that before so you don't get pulled over. And he just got back and just like, wow, it's so crazy how that connect. Like I wasn't after the scene with him earlier in the movie, I
Mhm.
wasn't expecting to see him again. And I like how you brought him back because I do remember him mentioning being a sheriff. I'm like, okay, this is he's one of those
Yeah.
type of.
Yeah, yeah, he's one of those types of sheriffs.
And I'm just like, holy shit.
And, man, something really crazy kinda happened with this movie with that character is, um, I I didn't expect people to hate him so much. Like, they hate him more than they do the actual villain in the film.
Well,
Like
You know what it is though? I think it's because of the whole scene in the hotel,
Yeah.
and people automatically, like, rightfully so, would get
Yeah,
pissed at me
absolutely.
for that, and then it just goes from there, and not even the whole messing around on his wife or whatever. I mean, not that
Yeah,
that people don't get upset about that, but what he did
to her, yeah.
otherwise is just like, okay, that now that's just, that's fucked up. That's over the
Yeah,
top. Or so
yeah.
with the older lady, because you think she's just some sweet old lady, and then no,
And
no,
the line when he pulls her over and he's all like, "Do you know why I pulled you over? Because I can." Man, people hate that.
yep,
And they just hate that character. And I wrote him so that people would hate him, but I didn't expect them to hate like people kind of connect a little bit with Patty, but man, they hate him. I just didn't expect that level of
yeah, yeah. And you know what? I love that with certain films though, where it's just like you just do not like that character. I can give you, for me, again, going back to Friday the 13th Part 7, Bad News Cruise.
yeah,
Here's a
yeah,
fun
people
here's
hate
a
him.
fun quick tidbit about this, right? So I was introduced. What is it, Terry Kaiser? I was
Yeah,
introduced to
Terry
Terry
Kaiser.
Kaiser from Friday the 13th Part 17, or Part 7, Part 17. I didn't see Weekend at Bernie's until maybe about a couple weeks ago for my other podcast, because we
Mhm.
do, non-horror movies. And so I actually got to meet him I met him. I met Lar Park Lincoln. I can never remember his name. I think his first name is Kevin, but Jean Jacket, you know who I'm talking about from Part
Yeah,
7.
yeah, yeah.
I was on a panel with them with my podcast, and like, I was going there, got their autographs and all that stuff. And my wife was like, "Did you know he was in Weekend at Bernie's?" I was like, "I've never even seen that movie before, but I know him from Friday the 13th Part 7."
Yeah.
And just one of the nicest people in the world, because I hated his character in Part 7. Like, I was
Mhm.
like, me and you, I told him to his face, I was like, me and you, as far as Friday the 13th Part 7 goes, me and you have issues in the movie. I was like, in real life, you're freaking awesome. But it, again, just going to
Yeah,
with the alone thing, like how you're saying with the sheriff character, how people just do not like him in this movie, rightfully so. But
yeah.
in real life, I'm sure he's probably a cool guy. He's probably a nice guy.
He's a great guy. I actually went to high school with him.
It's just funny how certain, you know what I mean? How certain things like that can, like, you watch a certain movie and you're just like, I cannot stand this guy. And I'm sure there's certain actors where you don't necessarily dislike them in real life, but they play certain roles so well, you're like, I can't stand you in this movie or this movie or this movie. And but it really shows how well somebody acted when they can do those certain scenes to really drive it home. Because you've also seen certain, I'm sure you've seen, I know I have, which I'm not gonna mention any movies, but where it's like a similar situation in a scene, but it wasn't acted out right. Either the facial expressions, the body language, or something. It doesn't sell it for you. So you're
Yeah,
just,
something just didn't hit right on it, yeah.
yes, yes. But with this, yeah, I'm just, and again, I was just like, oh shit, because that scene right there, I was like, this guy's an asshole. And then when again you see the old lady, I had a feeling there was something up with the older lady though, because I'm like,
Yeah,
there's just something off. There's just something off, and then little by little by little,
more is revealed, and
yes,
yeah.
because she kept mentioning being like alone, not liking to be alone, and all of this stuff. I like how it made you think when she brought up her husband.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, so she says the whole thing about what she did, and then she kind of made a joke about it, and
Yeah, yeah.
boom, so and then once you see how this ends with, with the girl she's with, you're like, going
Mhm.
back to what she said about her husband, she should have probably got out that car right away and just left.
Yeah. It's funny because, when you write characters like that, you get to play with a lot of things, and, that aspect of her is kinda modeled after the Joker from, The Dark Knight. She
Okay.
tells she tells 3 stories in this film. One about her husband, one about, working in the nursing home, and one about her son, like her son disappearing.
Hmm.
And as a viewer, once you get to the end of this thing and you realize like what she is and who she is, you can look back on it and be like, man, I don't know what, uh, like, do I believe anything she said?
It's tough. It's really tough because at the same time you're just like, this is just
Yeah,
because you think it's just a sweet old lady. You're thinking you go over there if she's your neighbor. She's like she has like the presence of, or the look of, that older lady that you go, she's giving the kids in the neighborhood like
cookies.
cookies and
Yeah,
milk and lemonade and stuff like that, and hard candies. And if she's giving you those, it's probably poison in them.
Yeah. And the actress that played her, Marilyn Knapp, she played her perfectly. Like, oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Yes, yes.
Fantastic.
Because again, it was one of those ones where it was real innocent, and then you see more of a sinister side, and it's like, okay,
Mhm.
that's why I tell you, do not underestimate older people at all.
No.
How innocent they look.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Did you happen to watch these films through the credits? Because I love post-credit scenes, and both of them have
I see
scene
with this
after.
one, I did not, but with the other one, I did, and I'm
That's what
glad I
you did?
did. I have to go back and watch it with Alone. With
Yeah.
Masquerade, I did, and it was funny. So I was just like, I think I accidentally hit. I was watching it on YouTube link you sent me. I think I accidentally hit my Fire Stick remote, like when I was going through the credits to fast forward. I just
Yeah.
accidentally hit it. And I was just like, oh shit, there's something else after the credits. And then you see this one,
Yeah.
another don't underestimate. Don't underestimate a pretty face. I feel like she could be the granddaughter of that old
Oh,
lady
yeah, yeah.
just because it was. I was like, this girl, there, and I had a feeling there was something because again, I don't want to give away spoilers, but the way it was set up, the people
Mhm.
outside, I'm not going to get too far into that. And then just kind of like, okay, I thought something was going to happen to her, is basically what I'm getting at. Like, I thought she was going to be the victim, and she
Yes.
definitely wasn't.
Yes.
And what ended up going down, she's done this shit before.
Oh, yeah.
A few times. She's proud of it. And what I did enjoy about this one as well is I like how you guys added the aspect of like with the phone and uploading videos and all sorts, because it's the obsession of the internet, the obsession of YouTube and getting views, whether
Yeah.
it's for good things or bad things. And for her, it's not too good, but it it still it still gave you like that realism to it to an extent, as far as just how people like just to clickbait, just to get view, whatever the case may be. That book, like, oh wow, so this is what I'm like, oh wow, this is different. This is different. This is something. This is something. Now, do these two stories connect?
Yes. So, do you remember in Alone when Kat first gets into Patty's car
Mm-hmm.
and she picks up that magazine and we see the cover and she kind of flips through it?
Yes.
That is Sylvia.
Oh shit! I see. I gotta go back and watch that now. But yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And then in Alone, in the sunset scene, you remember how Kat's talking about her twin sister and how she's a detective?
Yes,
So at the end of Masquerade,
yes,
she
yeah.
gets the phone call. That's her twin sister.
Oh,
The phone call is about Kat going missing.
okay. I that I did catch. That I
Mhm.
did catch. But
Okay.
holy, I can only wait. I can't wait to see how they connect in Lonely Echoes now.
Yeah, Lonely Echoes.
There's-
So Alone and Masquerade are kind of loosely connected
Okay,
through the magazine cover, and through the connection with the twin sister. But Lonely Echoes really starts bringing these two storylines together.
nice. And I like how you just mentioned that and pointing it out more with Alone and Masquerade, how they have like that. I guess it's one of those connections where like if you're not, I'm not gonna say if you're not, yeah, if you're not, if you just glimpse, you may, if you
Yeah,
miss it, you miss it. It's not like a throw it in your face type of connection. It's like, hey, it's something there that's kind of, you just got to be watching it.
yeah,
Honestly, I would say because they're, what is it, 32 minutes, I believe, and 37
uh,
minutes.
yeah. Alone is 32, and Masquerade's 37.
Watch them back to back, people. Just because
Absolutely.
the reason why I say that is because, like I say, if you watch one day and one the next day, you may miss the connections just because you may forget. And but you watch them back to back, you'll get those connections. I knew they had to be connected somehow, and my
The
mind.
goal the goal with all of these is to be able to watch all four of them back to back
Oh, not,
at once. And ideally, I think if the Lonely Echoes, when I wrote the script's finished and it's about 39 pages long. Now both Alone and Masquerade were 22 pages, and then they ended up being like 30 and 37. So I kind of feel like Lonely Echoes might end up being in the 50-minute range. It's going to be long. There's a
okay.
lot that happens in it. Mask or the fourth one, Unmasked. If we can keep that around 30 minutes, then altogether it'll be like 2.5 hours, which isn't bad. Like that's a
Mm-mm.
regular film, and you'll be able to watch them all four of them back to back at the same time, and just that's my goal with it, is for people to be able to do that.
Now, my question for you, like, are they all in order, or is there like a
Yeah.
prequel, or
Yeah, they're all in order. You can watch Masquerade before you watch Alone, or you can watch Alone before you Masquerade. The Masquerade and Alone kind of happen almost simultaneously, so you won't miss anything if you watch those two out of order. But definitely with Lonely Echoes and Unmasked, there is an order. Lonely Echoes, you definitely have to watch third, and then when we do Unmasked, you'll definitely have to watch that fourth.
okay. That's kind of cool with Masquerading Alone though, just for the simple fact of, like you said, it's obviously the same timeline, same universe, same everything like that, but they almost coincide together back to back. And if you watch from Alone, where you have the one main girl
Mm-hmm.
and how she's kind of talking about how she's alone, so she's going through some things or whatever, and basically missing. And then with the Masquerade, how her twin sister that kind of brings that up, and again with Alone, with the magazine and the chick. So I like how it kind of, and how the one girl that was in the magazine is so popular and famous, and when certain things happen in that film, people are surprised that it's her
Yeah,
because of she's on some sort of like dating app, so to speak. It's like
yeah.
not unanimous. What's the word I'm looking for?
Anonymous.
There you go, anonymous. Sorry, I was watching UFC fights last night. Unanimous decision. But yeah, the anonymous, and I'm just like, okay. Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch them again, because that I did miss the magazine part, but I did catch the twin sister thing.
Yeah, cool. Uh,
I do want to tell you this. If you are interested, we have a Facebook group called So Good It's Scary, where what we do is we tell people who have horror shorts that are a half hour or less, post them on there, and what that does, what I try to tell this, which we're gonna put it on the page eventually, but lets us, when we go live like this, I would show like your YouTube link live, your name and stuff would be in the credits, of course, or in the description and all that, of course, and your
mhm.
link. We'd show it live before like we do our full movie review. And if you want to come on for that to kind of discuss your film some, show it live and discuss it.
You
See how
said they have to be 30 minutes or less?
but for Alone, because it's like 32, and for Masquerade,
37, yeah.
those I would let kind of pass. But my whole thing is I don't want it to be where people, it's like 45, half hour.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
if it was like a full episode dedicated to it, I could do that as well. To like say if we did it back to back, watch them back to back, then kind of discuss them as well. But I just, you know what I mean. So that I could also make happen
Yeah,
for
I'd love to do that. We can do that back to back.
awesome.
Masquerade is doing its festival run right now.
So you
Uh,
got
so
wait.
the link is private,
Okay.
and I'm only like sharing that with like friends and people like you, like podcasts and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I can make an exception for that as long as it doesn't like become very widely public, because that'll disqualify us with some of the film festivals that we're in.
Now how long do the film festivals run? Because I mean, we could easily set it up once the film festival's done. That way, you don't have to worry about.
I was planning on letting it go live probably around June ish.
Okay. I mean, if you're fine, I'm fine with doing something over the summer. Just again, so that way I don't want you guys getting in trouble for anything or disqualified. I don't know how any of that stuff works.
Yeah, as long as it's not a public link to where anybody can just find it, then
I see what you're saying.
it's not going to be a problem. It keeping the link private, it should still be okay. And if we're going to do that, I would love to do it before the Indiegogo page is done.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that expires in like 42 days, I think, or 40 something days.
Oh, we'll definitely set something up then, because I think
Yeah,
and again, I can. That's no big deal as far as like you said. So it would be fine to show it. It's just you don't want the link to be like out there for anyone. Okay,
exactly. Yes.
got it. Good to know. Good to
The
know.
link for Alone is fine, but not for Masquerade.
Not yet. Okay, not till the summer,
Yeah.
basically.
And you would be able to show it without sharing the link, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Because
we can do that. We could do that.
the which I don't know if you've announced it yet, so I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to say what trailer it was, but the trailer that you showed me on before we went live,
Yeah,
like I
that's we
share
can
the screen,
show that. Yeah. Yeah,
which
the Night of the Beast trailer is public. It's out there. Anybody could find it and search for it. So
awesome.
yeah,
Oh, yes, people. All I'm going to say is Jason versus Bigfoot. Check it out.
yeah,
It's completely different take that I'm excited for.
a lot of fun.
Completely different take. How did you come up with that idea?
So when I very first decided that I wanted to make a Jason fan film, I made a post here in Arkansas on our Arkansas film page. I was like, "Hey, I want to do big or a Jason movie. Anyone want to help me?" And one of the people that replied, his name is Jason Mansfield, and he lives here in Arkansas. He's a big like Bigfoot and UFO type enthusiast. He's huge into urban legends and folklore and stuff like that. And we just got to talking about what we would do with a Jason film. And I was just scrolling through his page and just is all this Bigfoot stuff, and he's got Bigfoot costumes and all this stuff. And I was just like, why don't we just do Jason versus Bigfoot? And he's all like, I love it. So that's what we did.
Hey, listen, man. Again, I like when ideas just get thrown together like that. Like, hey,
Yeah.
let's just,
I had I knew that I wanted to do a Cretan Duke backstory, and I knew that I wanted to do something with the kids that were under the bed in part 6. So that storyline, those two storylines were already in my mind and developing, and then when he came aboard, and I was like, let's do Bigfoot. I kind of wove Bigfoot into those stories, and it turned out pretty well.
oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's definitely gonna be a fun one. Like that, I can't wait to check out. I'm so excited for that one.
Yeah.
And then you have the Indiegogo for Lonely Echoes going right now.
Yes. Yeah.
And you said you said that's live for another how much longer?
Let me look. I think it's 42 days. Let me look here. Hold on.
Okay.
But yeah. So if you look at the names of the actors on the poster, it's a lot of names from both Alone and Masquerade. So we really start to bring these two stories and characters together.
Yeah, see that's
All right, so it's alive for another 48 days.
okay. Nice. And what I can do too, really quick, is let me just find the share button. Pull up your Indiegogo because you have the Indiegogo live right now. So anybody watching, go check it out.
Well, mine says 48 days. Yours says 47 days. So I don't know.
Oh man, people, there's about 40 some odd days.
Yeah.
40 some odd days. And let's check this Indiegogo out.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the feel there of how we're going to do it. So one of the concepts behind all of these movies is we're shooting them each as a different subgenre of the overarching horror genre. Like Alone was shot as a psychological horror film, like Misery or Psycho. And Masquerade was shot as a home invasion slasher film, uh, like The Strangers or You're Next. And we're doing Lonely Echoes, like the investigative horror type film, like Seven or Silence of the Lambs. It's going to have that type of feel to it.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
This
A
is
lot of cool perks there.
yes.
There's a featured extra. We have a scene where we need a lot of extras, so there's some featured extra perks available.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I seen you had trailer. Is it okay if I play the trailer for this?
Absolutely.
All right.
Oh, that actually goes to Alone.
Oh,
But yeah, I think actually that's the trailer for Masquerade. Honestly, if you click on it.
all right. I'll check it out.
Yeah. One of these, yeah, that's the trailer for Masquerade. Because we haven't shot anything for Lonely Echoes yet. So one of those links is the trailer for Masquerade. The other one is the actual film for Alone. So yeah, you can play. Go ahead and play the trailer.
It's cool.
For Masquerade.
It's cool to play the trailer, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Can't wait to meet you either, Clint. Famous people are people too.
I saw them. There's people in your house. I don't know how many there are or who they are, but they're all wearing masks and we need to get out.
Goodness gracious, golly gee.
What are you hiding?
I can't hear you.
I forgot I muted my mic so it wouldn't pick up the
ambience.
But no, I was just saying, you guys, when you get a chance to see these, you gotta watch these when you can.
Yeah. So Alone, you can go on YouTube right now, type in Jason Pitts Alone, and watch the entire film for free. Masquerade. One of the perks for the Lonely Echoes Indiegogo campaign is it's a $5 perk. If you get that, I will email you the link to Masquerade to where you can watch it.
It's worth it. It's definitely worth it, people. I got to watch it earlier. Definitely check it out. Definitely check out this Indiegogo too, and just watch more of what Jason has coming out. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Like I
Thank
I don't know what I'm more excited for between this story being complete and Jason versus Bigfoot. I put them there together.
That trailer too, if you want.
Oh, let me grab it back up here, because that I was like, yeah, this is. Let me grab it for you real quick. Give me like 2 seconds. Pull it over here.
I like the screen sharing stuff. It's pretty cool.
I love it. I freaking love it.
Yeah.
Right here. Here.
Shit ton of bodies out there over the years.
John, I don't think there's anybody here.
I know.
Welcome to Crystal Lake. Here you cannot hide. See the beauty all around you, yet someone here has died. In between the bird sings, can you hear the screams? Something here is hunting you, even in your dreams. Things called crystal, but bodies lay in the mud. The water is not clear and yet it seems thicker than blood. Welcome to your nightmare, and welcome to his pain. Welcome to your last day, because evil is insane.
Again, another fun one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of the cast and crew, I'd say about 80% of the cast and crew that worked on Alone and Masquerade also worked on Voorhees.
Nice.
Yeah, you'll recognize the actress that played Sylvia in Masquerade was in that trailer, and also the actor who played um, Anton in Masquerade was also in the trailer.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
I would really love to get you back on with some of the actors and actresses for like a nice.
Absolutely, we can do that.
Hey man, how's it going? Thanks for dropping in, Doomsday. Appreciate it.
Hey,
But it'd be I think that'd be fun to kind of just to get everybody's perspective. Maybe even what to think of something. We'll talk behind the scenes and think of some things, some fun things.
all right.
Dreams, how's it going, man? Appreciate you dropping in. Go check out the Alone trailer, or go check out the Alone film, guys. It's actually dropped it in the description, so go check that out on YouTube. Also, check out the Indiegogo for Lonely Echoes. And yeah,
It'll be fun.
by the way, Lonely Echoes, listen, here's what you guys can do. Go to Lonely Echoes, $5 so you guys can see Masquerade. $5. You guys can see Masquerade. That way you can watch Alone, then Masquerade right after it. Highly recommended, definitely worth it. But we will, if you guys were paying attention to the live a few minutes ago, we did say we're going to show them both back to back and have like a full review on them with Jason. And I'm hoping with the cat, some people from the cat.
I'll get a lot of the cast, whoever you want. I'll try to get. They're they're all very supportive. Yeah, one of the reasons, other than just our passion and love for filmmaking, but one of the things we're hoping that these 4 films do is just showcase what we can do and our talent to, to people. So that everyone is more than willing to come on to these shows and talk and
I love that. So like, if just reach out and let me know.
Absolutely.
I love that stuff. And like, I like how, because I've dealt with, with the indie scene for a while now and before. And like, I like how I love the ones that want to come on, like the actors and actresses that want to come on and just discuss films that they're, even if it's just a role where they're in the scene for 10 minutes and that's it. Because like, you're a part of that film. You should want to, talk about it, brag about it, and all that other stuff versus like I've had some to where I've created posts or reached out. I'd get the director on, the producers and stuff like that on, but actors and actors, oh yeah, I'm gonna come. And then it's like, they don't want to come and promote the movie. I'm like, I don't understand it. I mean, you're a part of it. Why don't you want to promote what you were? If the film is good or bad, at the very least, just to get your face seen, your voice heard, even this is a small platform right now. Yes, but still, somebody's going to hear it, see it, check it out.
Absolutely.
And the way I look at it too is, when it comes to film across any genre, love it or hate it, it's going to be in some sort of conversation. That way, ears, oh, let me go check it out. You didn't like it? Well, let me check it out because, or you loved it. Oh, let me go check it out because whatever. And all that other fun stuff. So,
and all the people on my team, cast and crew, the people behind the camera, they're all so talented. And we talk about this all the time. They realize how much of an opportunity these films are for all of us, because a lot of people are seeing them. They're getting a lot of attention. They're winning awards in festivals all across the planet. Just in 2 weeks, we're going to Atlanta for the Days of the Dead Horror Film Festival and Convention. Masquerade was selected, and it's playing at their film festival.
That's awesome.
6 p.m. Friday night, which is a great spot.
That's really,
Kane Hodder is going to be there. Doug Bradley, all of these legends are going to be there, and we just so thankful for the opportunities that these movies are opening for us. So they all understand, and they all are very, very willing and to come on and talk. So
I would definitely love to set that up, and they don't even have to be people that were on screen. I mean, anybody. I don't know enough about film set, but you did the lights, you did the sound, cameraman, anybody, because it'd be cool to get the perspective. Like, how is it to be on the set of a horror film? And, don't get me wrong. I love getting actors. Anybody that's a part of the film is who I'd love to get on to,
cool.
Just
well, I will put out an open call. Is there a limit of how many people you can have?
So, including myself, it could be 10 at a time.
10? Okay.
But I mean, we could figure some things out. Maybe have, X amount of people come on certain days, and just kind of like one day maybe have, X amount of people on when we show the film or whatever. We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Even if people are rotated out, they stay for X amount of time and kind of rotate. again,
we'll talk about it for sure. Yeah.
that'll be fun though, because I love, for me, like with this whole podcasting thing. One, I love it. I love the horror community, and I love discussing horror in any way, shape, or form that I can. And I love connecting with the indie scene because it's like I connect with you, right? And
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
I'm sure you're friends with other indie producers, directors, and all that good stuff. Hey, come check out this podcast. And me, I'm like, hey, other podcasts, you guys should interview these people. It just, I love how it works, how we all help each other out with that.
Yeah.
It's just on this podcast, you guys should check it out, blah, blah, blah. And vice versa. Hey, you guys should check this film out. Hey, podcasters, get them on your show, because you're gonna have a good time.
It's a creative economy. Yeah, I agree 100%.
I appreciate you coming on though, man. I
appreciate you having me.
I do have to drop one real quick. Hang on. It's gonna put us both backstage, but it's my quick sponsor, real quick, and we can talk for a few more minutes.
So where's damn, man? Valentine's Day is coming up, bro. I feel like I don't think I got my plans, as dope as they could be. Right now, I just got a bottle of wine and a movie planned out. I mean, you got any ideas for me, bro?
Bro, I'm over here trying to figure out how to make a song with this thing over here, with this guitar. Like, I need something.
I got the answer to both of your problems. Both of you. Hemparita, guys. You go to ihemparita.com. You said you have that nice wine. Pour some of this in her wine. Be nice and relaxed. And she'll still get the good flavors of the wine mixed with some lime. And there's gummies.
Okay.
Give her that with the candies, Chris.
Okay.
Play your little guitar. Sipping on some Hemparita. And you could say, Hemparita! And woo her to sleep.
Fancy.
Yeah, if you're into CBDs, man, it's a great, it's legal too, but it's a great product, great CBD product. They have gummies and shooters. The shooters are about this big, and one shooter is 2 servings, 1 gummy per serving, and very relaxing. So guys, check out Hemparita, and make sure you guys check out Jason on his social medias and all that great stuff.
Yep.
Go check out the Alone film. Again, it's in the description. Go check out the Indiegogo. It's in the description, so you can't say you can't find it. Hemparita is also in the description, so you don't even have to worry about spelling it out. Just hit that link in the description. When you catch it, use promo code SURF30, save yourself some money. But is there anything else you want to discuss, Jason?
I think that we covered just about everything. So
awesome.
Again,
right.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
One final question for you. For up and coming indie director, what is one piece of advice you would give them?
Don't quit. It's hard. It's very hard, especially to get started. The biggest advice I have for anybody is just don't quit. Just keep going.
You guys heard it first there. And if you've heard what he was discussing earlier.
Yeah, I almost quit.
He almost quit, but he was something just snapped it back, that passion. If you're real passionate about something in life, there's going to be bumps in the road, no matter what it is. Don't quit. Just keep fighting for it. Eventually you'll get there.
It's really helpful if you find other people that are that share your passion.
That's very true.
You create a support group. That helps a lot. But yeah, number one piece of advice: don't quit.
I like it, and I guess we can end with that. Everybody, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And again, just check out the links in the description. I'll see you in your nightmares. Have a good evening.